Welcome back, ED fam. So if you watched my last video, you would know that I have been robbed 3 times. And so here's the third time story time. I thought it would be fitting because this literally happened like the week before 4th of July last year. And you know why I remember that? It's because the guy that robbed us was wearing an American flag cowboy hat. Really? But whatever, who am I to be giving robbers fashion tips? Anyway, so let's just get right into it. Let's talk about the third and hopefully final time I got robbed. So this time I was very aware of my surroundings. Ever since I got robbed the second time, I really kept an eye out for people that looked suspicious or just seemed out of place. So a lot of the time when I would feel like someone looked kind of like out of place or suspicious, I don't know if this is like a trauma response or what, but I would start writing down the description of them. Now, I hate to be that person that instantly judges people, but after being robbed twice, it kind of just became a thing. And it's like not something that I'm proud of, but I think it's a way of me trying to protect myself. So I'm always aware of everything. I'm like over aware. So I would start to like write down descriptions of people that I thought looked suspicious. So then if they did end up robbing us, I would actually be able to pinpoint who that person was. Because the first time I got robbed back at the tanning salon, I feel like I wasn't as prepared as I needed to be, and so I wasn't able to give a proper description. Okay, with that being said, I did make a mental note of what this guy looked like because he looked suspicious. But of course, the one time that we actually ended up getting robbed again, I didn't write it down. I saw this guy in line and he was wearing an American flag cowboy hat, some sunglasses, and I believe a mask as well because it was COVID time. So I believe he was wearing a mask as well. And so you couldn't really see his face. But something about him just made me feel different or weird. I just felt it. Because I feel like a lot of the times when you're at the bank, you're kind of getting ready in line. You're taking out your check, you're taking out your card, you have your wallet in your hand, something like that. And this guy had none of that in his hand. He was kind of like scribbling on a random pamphlet we had at the bank. And it was just off to me. So whether this sounds bad or not, it's the truth. So I decided, you know what, I have a really bad feeling about this guy. I feel like he's gonna rob us. So I told, if you watched my last story, I mentioned that there is someone that stands behind the line, and if we ever need any help with anything, they look over. It's like a manager. So I told my manager, I was like, you know what, like I feel kind of off about this guy. Can you please just, keep your eyes out for him? And they're like, okay, yeah, totally. With that being said, I had got robbed last time, 6 months prior, may I remind you, if you haven't seen that video, with a note. He didn't really say much to me. He just put a note on the counter and robbed me. So I was under the impression that that's what was going to happen again. So I took a super long time with my customer and I was like, nope, I'm not getting in this time. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want anyone to get robbed, but I mentally can't do it again. Like, I can't do it for a third time. So I just prepared myself mentally, you know what, like the teller near me is probably gonna get robbed, but it's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. So he gets to the front of the teller line where it's his turn. And instead of putting a note to the teller that he had, he demands to the entire teller line. Mind you, that's 3 tellers. We had 4 that day, but 1 was in the back. That is 3 tellers that he's demanding money from. And instantly when I heard that, I was like, are you serious? 3 times. What are the chances of you getting robbed 3 times? And yes, I understand that I personally was not the teller getting robbed this time, but I was 1 of 3. So I was the first one. I took my cash out, slammed it on the counter. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not putting my life at risk. I'm just gonna put my money on the counter and hopefully we can just move on. The minute, it's really hard to explain. It's like a feeling that I haven't felt in my life before. So I put the money on the counter, and at that point I felt like I had done my part. I felt like I was like watching a movie almost. It was so strange, as if like I was looking in on the situation, if that makes sense. I'm just standing there and I'm just watching, and the teller next to me on this side, I guess, wasn't going fast enough for him. The teller next to me does speak Spanish, and though this guy shouldn't know, he was making a judgmental call and started speaking Spanish to her. Very broken Spanish, but in a way of like disrespectful Spanish, as if like, oh, you don't speak English, is that why you're not responding? Very disrespectful. But eventually I believe she put her money on the counter, and then the teller over here, he just kept helping his customer as if we weren't getting robbed. And the guy that robbed us was like, hey, like, hello, give me your money. And he just kept helping the customer. And I was like, I swear to you, if he gets us killed, I swear, because I did my part. I put my money in the counter. And you know what? I forgot to mention this. This is a very like important part. Is he got to the front of the line and he announced, this is a robbery. I have a gun. Don't mess around. So that already in my head was like, we're getting robbed and he has a gun. Okay, I'm done. Take it all. Like, so the fact that this teller was just going about his business, helping his customer, and completely ignoring this robber, I was like, I don't know if I had blacked out or what had happened, because eventually the guy left, and I know that this teller over here did give him the money, but I can't see it in my head. I don't know, it's really strange. Like, I know it happened, but I can't like picture it in my memory. I don't know, it's really strange. So then as he's walking out, he is still talking to all of us in the bank. He's like walking, he's like, okay, bye, have a good day, God bless. God bless. Have a good day. You just ruined my day. Like, what do you mean? Just because you say that doesn't mean it makes it better. That's like saying no offense and then still saying something rude to someone. It just doesn't work like that. But it was crazy. The whole bank had customers. There was like a line of customers. There was people with the bankers. Like, it was like a whole thing. He took over the bank. So in some ways, it is a takeover. He took over all of the tellers. But we were very fortunate that it wasn't a multiple person takeover, which means multiple people are in here, you know, pushing people down, stealing the money, have guns. Like, you know, like that's thankfully didn't happen. But I was talking to some of the bankers later, and they were saying, you know, I was on the phone with a customer, and the minute I heard that he was robbing us, I just hung up on them. I was scared, you know, and I just remember like pressing my panic button. The girl next to me pressed her panic button, and the cops were just not coming. And I was just like, usually robberies take like 2 minutes maybe. Like, it's very quick. And this guy was in here for, I want to say almost 10 minutes, maybe 7. A really long time. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, what is going on? Like, he's too calm. Like, the first guy, he was very casual, he was in and out, and when he wasn't getting what he needed quickly, he left. This guy was like taking his time, arguing with the teller, and like, what robber do you know is gonna sit there and argue with someone when they said they have a gun? I'm so glad that nobody got hurt and that nobody's life actually seems to have been at risk. But if it was a legitimate robber and it wasn't an inside job, allegedly an inside job, we don't know, but why would he not pull out his gun? Why would he not threaten this guy? It doesn't make sense to me. And when the girl next to me over here that speaks Spanish, mind you, she speaks English as well, very well, didn't pull out the cash quick enough, he started going like this. Not with a real gun, with his hands. When he started doing finger guns at this girl, I started to kind of think he didn't actually have a gun. I don't know. I don't know if he knew he was on camera, so he didn't want to actually physically show his gun or what, but I don't know. I feel like if he was getting that impatient and he actually had a gun, he would have pulled it out. Also, what I don't understand is I have not once ever seen any record of this robbery ever. And when we would get robbed, the bank that I worked at had a list of local robberies that had happened at the same bank I worked at, but different locations, like the same company. And the first one I had at the bank was on there immediately. This one never made it to that. I never saw it when looking at news articles. The cops didn't come for a very long time, which leads me to believe they didn't get called right away like they were supposed to. He was there for a really long time. And get this, one of my customers at the bank, she had just withdrawn a lot of money. And the minute he was like, this is a robbery, blah, 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 she goes to hand her money to him because she was scared. She was probably thinking, this is gonna save my life or something. And you know what he says to her? I don't want your money. The bank's money is insured. Looks like someone did their homework before they came to the bank and robbed it. But for real, if it was a real robbery, hold on. It was very much a real robbery. He very much got money from all of us and traumatized me. But if it was like just a random off the street, don't you think if you're robbing a bank, you'll take all the money you can get? She's literally handing over her money to you. And you tell her no? Kind of weird. And so after he leaves, I'm actually speaking with that lady because, we're waiting for the cops to come and they have to take a report from every single person in the bank. So we had to lock the doors. All the customers that were there, they're considered witnesses, all the bankers, all the tellers, all the managers, everybody that was in the branch at that time had to give a statement so we could help to find the guy. So I'm speaking with that lady later and she's telling me like, I saw you looking at that guy the whole time he was in line. And I was like, I don't know, I just had a feeling. Like I just felt like something was off about him, so I tried to keep my sights on him. And she said, you know what, he actually tried to make small talk with me in the line. And when I saw you staring at him so intensely, it made me feel off. And I actually kind of stepped away and did not continue on that conversation. She's like, I could tell you knew. And I was like, unfortunately I did. Like I had a gut feeling and I really hoped that I was wrong. And it's really interesting too. I'm really sorry that this story is like all over the place and I'm like jumping back and forth. It's just like this last robbery like really hit me differently. And so I feel like my brain like tries to block out pieces. But then when I'm trying to tell the story, I'm like remembering things. So please like bear with me. But I remember when he got to the front of the line, the manager that I had told you guys about that was supposed to be watching over us to make sure everything was fine. He did. He got behind that one teller that he was trying to speak Spanish to. He got behind her because he noticed, this customer is going to be going with this teller. He's meant to deter the guy from robbing her. So the guy's like, hey, do you have any water? Could you please go give me some water? Trying to get this manager to leave so he could have the area to himself. And the manager was like, no, I'm sorry, sir. We don't offer water. With all the sickness going around, we don't offer that anymore. I'm sorry. So he doesn't leave. He just stays there. And so I wonder, was the guy planning on just quietly robbing this one teller, but when he realized the guy wasn't leaving, he just went big? I mean, I don't know. But he did get away with a lot of money, and I'm pretty sure to this day he has not been caught. I have not seen record of this robbery, but this robbery, I mean, the way it made me feel may even be a video in itself. But let me just tell you, like, I hit a point in my life where I no longer enjoyed anything. The things that I knew that I used to enjoy I felt nothing. And it's crazy. I've never experienced this before. Like, I would be doing things that I knew I enjoyed, but I didn't feel anything. Like, my brain knew, you like this, Amanda. You like doing this. This makes you happy. But my emotions and my feelings didn't match it. And it's a really weird feeling, and it makes you, I can't even explain to you like how it makes you feel. I feel like you can't explain how it makes you feel because like you feel nothing. And I feel like the only way that you can truly understand that feeling is if you have experienced it. And if you have experienced it, I'm really sorry, because it's really strange to feel so much yet feel nothing at all. And I became very paranoid, which is really interesting because after the first 2 robberies, I was still going out. I was still able to do my own errands on my own, and like as if like it didn't happen. Yes, I was more aware of my surroundings, but I was able to just carry on with my life. And with the second robbery, I was talking to my therapist, and she was like, are you sure that you're getting out enough? You're not just staying inside. That's really unhealthy. And I was like, people actually stay inside? People actually avoid the real world? Like, that's not how you heal. You need to go out. You need to experience life. You can't just hide away. And she was so proud of me, and I didn't understand why, because it just felt so obvious to me. Why would you run away from your problems? But then this third time that I got robbed, I was that person. I was that person that never wanted to go out. Even till this day, I don't want to go out alone. I will wait until somebody can go with me to the grocery store, till somebody can go with me to the gym, to, you know, like everyday things. The only times that I truly feel okay going somewhere alone is if I know that I'm meeting someone there. Like if I'm driving to a family member's house, I know that someone's going to be there waiting for me. If I'm going to work, I know that my coworkers are going to be there for me. You know, stuff like that. Very calculated in every decision that I make. When I'm driving, I'm like, oh my gosh, is somebody following me? Did I make somebody mad? When people are pulled to the side, I'm like, in my head, like telling my affirmations, I'm safe, I'm protected, I'm loved, hoping to manifest that positive energy on me. Because I just want to be myself again. And to be honest, you know, I feel like I'm trapped in the wrong body sometimes. I don't understand. And I want to experience life the way I used to before getting robbed. And it gets me so upset, to be honest, because you robbed me of my security in life. You robbed me of being genuinely happy and feeling like I used to. Not to mention, who knows how every one of those customers feel? Does that stay with them today in their everyday life? Do they fear going to the bank? Because I do. I don't even work at the bank anymore. And when I have to go inside a bank, I am terrified. What if I'm the customer that's there this time when they get robbed? What if someone sees me going into the bank and they think I have a lot of money and they rob me? What if they realize that I don't have a lot of money and they get mad and they hurt me? I'm not the only victim in this situation. I'm just one of the few that decided to speak up. And if you're struggling, I'm here for you. Can I solve all your problems? No, because honestly, I don't even know how to solve my own. But I'm here for you, and I want you to know that you're not alone. Heavy topic, yeah? I mean, every day I'm trying to heal. Every day I'm trying to get better. And I'm trying to just hope that one day I will get to where I used to be. But I mean, a part of me feels like I need to get robbed. Maybe not 3 times, maybe just once, to be aware, because I was too trusting. I was kind of naive. You know, I saw the good in everyone. And as much as that's an amazing quality, it's not good because not everybody is good. And that's how you get taken advantage of. I don't know. I'm trying to heal every single day. I'm just scared. I'm scared to let my guard down because every time I do, I get robbed. Something bad happens. And I don't know if when I take my guard down, I stop being more aware. But I want to be able to safely take my guard down. And there's so much bad in this world, but I need to start remembering that there's a lot of good too. So with that, I'm going to continue on this journey of healing and trying to be happy and trying to find myself again and starting to see the good in this world, because I'm so focused on the bad, I'm missing all that this life has to offer. And there's so much that this life has to offer, and I need to find it. I need to find myself again, and I'm getting there. I really am. I've made a lot of improvements, and I can't wait to share those with you. But until that video comes out, this is how this robbery has affected me. This is how I think a collection of these robberies affected me. I think this one really affected me because of how intense it was. But I think that maybe if the other two hadn't happened, one being 6 months before this one, it maybe would have not affected me so bad. Also, the very first robbery, I got no help. Like, I'm talking like, I needed mental support. I didn't know how to handle what had just happened to me. And I worked, for a small business, and I just wanted to show up for them because I was very grateful, for the opportunity they had. I loved my job. And so I worked there for a year after getting robbed. A whole year. I got robbed and I maybe took off 2 days back to work, working there for an entire year. Every single night that I worked there, looking out the window, waiting for my shift to be over because I was so paranoid that I was gonna get robbed again. And part of me wishes that I would have got help the first time, but I didn't. And there's nothing we can do. We can't dwell on the past. We can't dwell on what we should have done, could have done. We're here now, and all we can do is try to do better and be happy and work on ourselves and not be ashamed to work on ourselves. It is okay if you need help. And I'm so happy to see that mental health is becoming a bigger topic, and I'm so happy to see that it's becoming a thing now. I mean, it's always been a thing, but the fact that people are finally starting to acknowledge that it's important makes me very happy. Although we have a long ways to go, I am very happy to see that, and I want you to know that if you do need help, you should get it. You should, because that's what I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to get help. I'm going to continue to get help. And you know what? If you go to a therapist and it just doesn't feel right, that's okay. Try out multiple therapists, because eventually you will find the one that works for you. And don't be afraid to end that client-therapist relationship if it doesn't feel right. End it, because you know what? I had a therapist that wasn't right for me, and I just kept going, hoping it would get better. And you know what? It made things worse. She created things and issues that I didn't have prior to seeing her. And I really wish I would have been brave enough to be like, you know what, I'm sorry, this isn't working out. Because this is my life. This is my mental health. And I and you deserve to be in control of that. So don't ever feel bad for putting yourself first when it comes to your mental health. Ever. I'm talking from firsthand experience. But with all that being said, I love you guys so much, and I only dwell on getting help and putting yourself first so much because I care about every single one of you, and I just want the best for you. So I'm sorry, as Daniel always tells me, I'm really bossy, but I'm only bossy because I care. So please, if you're struggling, get help. I love you guys. I don't know what I would do without you guys. You guys are literally everything to me. When I need to talk, you're there, you know? You guys are there when I need to talk, when I need to vent, when I'm excited, when I'm sad. I feel like no matter what emotion or stage I am in my life, I can come to you guys and I can talk to you. When you guys comment and you like my video and you subscribe, and I just can't believe that people actually care to hear what I have to say. It's amazing, it's a blessing, and it's just the beginning, guys, I promise you. So please, comment, like, share, subscribe, join the family. Because we want to have you here along the way. We want to be able to say, you know what? You've been here since the beginning, And I'm so happy that you continue to still ride with us, because Dale and I will ride with you guys till the end. So until next time, guys, I love you so much. Bye.